G'day guys, how we doing? You doing good? That's good to hear. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. I've been pretty busy with work and a bunch of other things the last month or so I hadn't had time to head down to the skate park and film some more content for you guys. But good news, we're back here doing another video, and I've recently got a whole new computer set up, so it's going to make my workflow a lot easier, a lot more faster, because at the end of last year my computer broke down, so I've been editing off my trusty 2013 MacBook Pro, which has been super slow. It takes like 24 hours just to export a 12-minute video. So I've got the whole new setup now, which is elite. It's going to make my process so much better. So yeah, that's going to be my goal for the next 6 months of the year, is to produce more content for you guys. So hopefully, yeah, I'll have more tutorials and more content out on the channel soon for you guys. But let's get into today's video. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm gonna be reviewing and analyzing and breaking down some of my footage from the skate park that I've filmed this year. So yeah, I think it's going to be really helpful for you guys. Every time I go to the skate park, I film myself, obviously, for my channel, and then the first thing I do is come back and analyze myself. And I think analyzing and filming yourself allows you that ability to progress. You know, you get to see where you went wrong, see where you went right, and sort of see what you can do differently to keep on improving. That's how I keep on improving, is by watching myself back, watching my footage and analyzing what I did right and what I did wrong. And you know, I think that's something that you guys should implement into your surf skating. If you want to get better at surf skating, go out and film yourself every now and then and sort of watch yourself back and watch your techniques and compare yourself to like a surf skater like me or something like that. So that's going to make you so much better at surf skating. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Yo. So let's have a look at this clip here. Every time I go to the skate park, my first order of business is to just ride around the skate park, find my lines, warm up and get the muscles moving, and you know, just try out a bunch of different tricks on different ramps and everything, just to sort of plan out what I want to shoot and what angles I want to capture and everything. So right now I'm filming on this quarter pipe here, and I'm just trying a bunch of like different assessors and everything, just trying to get the muscles moving, get the feel of it, get my confidence up, so I can go out and like pull off that one good maneuver. So let's have a look here. This turn here, I'm coming up and I get the execution up the top, but on the landing I sort of overshoot it and I have to put my hands down to catch me, to stop me from riding out. And then, you know, I land the maneuver, I ride out of it, which is good, but it's not really the way that I want to ride out of the maneuver. I want to ride out cleanly. I don't want to put my hands down to sort of catch me from falling over. I want to do like a seamless, smooth transition from the turn and ride out nice and clean. Second turn here, I come up, turn. It's a nice, clean little turn. Nothing super exciting, nothing major. It's a nice, clean turn on that ramp, and you know, that's sort of what I wanted to do, is get a nice, clean one in the book. So, you know, build up that confidence and on to the next ones. After that one, I come up again here and I put a bit more oomph in it, throw the tail a bit, and you know, I just come unstuck here. As I come around, I get that rotation, I get that tweak, and as I come around for that rotation, my line is just a little out wide, so I sort of want to come around in here, but instead my line, we're coming down here like that, so I'm just, the back of my legs here are sort of stretching out. I'm not centered over my chest throughout when I'm riding out of that turn there. So that's going to result me, you can see straight away there that my chest isn't over the front of my knees here, and the back of my legs are just so far away from my chest, so I'm not compressed enough. So when I go to spin out of that turn here straight away, you can see my body. I have to put my arm down to try and catch myself. my back of my heel here is catching on the pavement, and that's just going to stop me from flying, and then my front foot here is going to slip off, and I'm not going to complete the maneuver properly just like that, and I fall off. So, you know, it's back to the drawing board. Gonna have to go and try another turn. So on my final attempt here, I come up, do the turn, and make that adjustment, compress out of that turn and right out of it nice and cleanly. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't see. I do like a bunch of different takes to try and get that one turn, and you know, it's a matter of sort of adjusting yourself and sort of picking up what you're doing wrong in the moment. So you can see there, that last turn, I didn't compress enough, my board come out of my feet. So when I come up and did this turn, how high up I get on the ramp, my back wheels are almost touching the coping right there. The back of my tail is poking out of the coping right there. And I get that nice and high. I'm putting all my pressure onto this front foot here to help get that rotation, and then my back leg is extended all the way out, and that's going to help me spin the board around and get that rotation. So when I come around on that turn, you can see there my foot comes off just momentarily, like right there. You can see that my foot has come off, detached from my board right there, and that's helping me get that sort of spin. And that wasn't intentionally, like that just happened in the moment. So that's sort of what helped me get that super big rotation, because all my pressure is on this front foot right here, and that's allowing the back of my board to sort of lift up like this and slide my tail without any restriction or anything happening on the back wheels there. So as I come around, my wheels catch and I stop right there. So immediately once I stop right here, I start to put my chest over the front of my knees here to compress out of that turn, and I transfer all my weight onto this back foot here. So I transition my weight from my front foot onto my back foot to help me ride out of that turn. So when I come in, you can see right there how low and compressed I get. And I'm shifting all my weight onto this back foot to pivot on these back trucks, and see how centered my chest is over the front of my knees here. That's going to help me stay low and compressed and help me ride out of this turn. So when I ride out, all I have to do is compress, then pivot and ride out of that turn. And I actually just ride out backwards on that ramp. I pivot off the ramp, and you know, that's something that's kind of difficult to do. If you ever try to go backwards on a surf skate or on a Smoothstar, you know that the trucks sort of like wobble when going backwards. So, you know, this is something that requires like a lot of practice and everything. And what makes me like so good, I'm able to, you know, make those adjustments when I'm doing tricks like this and turning out of it. I can sort of read what my board's going to do, and I can make that adjustment and ride out backwards because I can anticipate what's happening during the maneuver. So I'm able to ride out of that turn like really clean and nice, and that's as good as the turn as you can get on a ramp like that. All right, so this next turn is even better than that previous turn. I said that last turn is as good as the turn you can get on this, but this next time I just sort of upped it a bit more because I got my confidence up on that ramp. I got the feeling of what it was like doing that turn, and I made those adjustments where I was stacking it before. Then, you know, I made those adjustments and I was able to pull off the maneuver. So when I come back and do it for a second time, look at this one. This one's so much better, so much cleaner than the last one. I come up, boom, turn that around and ride out of that super cleanly right there. Now if I play it back, you can see my approach to the ramp. As soon as I come up and approach the ramp, you can see that I'm already compressing right here, and I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. My arm comes down, I'm winding up to sort of rotate my shoulder over this way, and same with this arm. This arm is guiding me into the direction that I want to go. And as I come up the ramp here, I begin to extend, but I'm not extending all the way though. And as I come up through that extension and begin to push on that tail there, you can see here that I'm always looking into the direction that I'm turning. I'm turning this way, I'm looking to that direction, and I'm getting nice and high up on the ramp. My back wheels are almost touching the coping here throwing the tail off the side of the coping. And again, I'm just shifting all that weight onto my front foot, and look at the extension on my back leg here. That's helping me get that whip around, that turn into that direction. And you can see here that my arms come up into the air. The reason they come up there, they naturally do that, but it sort of helps get that rotation. If you think of like a ballerina, when they turn around like that, they stick their arms up and that helps them spin a lot faster. So that's sort of the same principle that happens here. As my arms come up, it's gonna create like a faster turning momentum to help me spin into the direction that I'm turning. So as I come through that turn, I'm just pushing on that back leg, getting that extension, but all my weight is shifted on my front foot here. And you can see right there that the back of my foot actually comes off my board, even more so than the previous one. Right here, you can see that my back foot comes off the back of my board here, and I'm shifting all that weight onto that front foot to get that whip around, that rotation. And then as my foot plants back onto my board, I stop spinning and I shift my weight back onto this back leg here to begin to pivot. My chest comes over the front of my knees here. I'm getting long compressed right there to ride out of that turn. And I'm always looking to the direction that I'm going. So all I have to do now is ride out backwards, pivot, turn out, and ride out of it with speed. So we'll play that back in fast motion right there, so you can see how fast I'm actually going through that turn. Boom. And see, it happens really fast, so you sort of got to anticipate how much speed you need to pull off a maneuver like that. So that's another sort of thing that you need to sort of work out how much speed you need for specific maneuvers. So speed is very important when completing maneuvers. Like too much speed, you're not going to be able to complete the maneuver. Too little speed, you're not going to be able to complete the maneuver. So you sort of need to know how much speed you need to complete a maneuver and sort of manage that speed so you can carry that speed through a maneuver and ride out of it with speed as well. All right, so next up here, I'm just trying a bunch of airs. So I'm going up, doing some airs, just getting the feel of it. That one wasn't very high, but you know, I sort of executed it. I was able to ride out of it, and you notice here as I come down for the landing here, I sort of overshoot it. So when I land, my chest isn't directly over the front of my board here. As I come down for the landing, I'm sort of detached. I'm super extended right here, and so when I come down, look at the angle that I'm on, because I'm rotating around this way, so I'm overshooting it a bit, so it's going to force my board to slide down here. So when I land, my board kind of slides down, and so as I come down to compress, I'm still sliding out this way, so my leg's going this way, but my body's sort of down here, so I have to put my back arm down here just to sort of catch me, to stop me from sliding all the way this way. And so I'm still over the center of my board so I can ride out of that turn. So I have to put my arm down just for a bit to catch me. And so when I put my arm down right there, I'm able to stop myself from sliding out too much that way, and I'm still over the center of my board here, and I just use my back arm to sort of pick me up off the ground and push me off and ride out of that turn cleanly. Right here, I'm going up for another one. Another big air. It wasn't that big, but you know, this one I sort of do exactly the same thing. I didn't slide out as much right here. I had a bit more control over my board, but I still had to put my arm down just momentarily just to sort of catch myself, because I'm literally sliding down the ramp and my board's going parallel to the ramp, so I just have to put my arm down to sort of catch myself. So third take, you can see my approach when I'm going up for these airs. I'm grabbing the rail right here and I'm compressing down. I'm always looking at the section that I want to hit up here. So as I come up the ramp right here, I begin to extend. You can see right here, I begin to extend, but my knees are still bent. I'm still grabbing onto that rail as I come off the top of the coping, and I'm looking to the direction that I want to turn. You can see here that I'm already starting to turn into the direction, and this arm is just out here to help me rotate into that direction. My whole body is rotating, my hips are rotating around here, my shoulders are rotating, and my head is rotating around there. So when I come up and do this air, I come up and I lift up. You can see right here as I come up into the air that my chest is over the top of my knees here. My knees have come up towards my chest to help me get that height, and I'm still kind of compressed over the top of my board here, and I'm holding on to my rail, and I'm looking at this where I'm going. I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. So when I come down and let go of the rail, all I have to do now is just come down, and again I kind of overshoot it here. See, I'm up on the top of my board here, then I come down and kind of overshoot it. So I'm sliding out again, but I'm able to anticipate that slide, and I make the adjustment of putting my hand down so I can pick myself up and come back over the top of my chest and right out of that turn. Right, so here's another little forehand turn that I do on this little ramp. Come up, just pop it up 180, perfect execution, come around and right out of that turn with control and speed. So let's break that one down. So as I come around, I sort of find my line. Right here, I start to compress. And you can see here that I'm looking at the section that I want to go. And I start to compress my knees. I'm winding up the back of my arm here to sort of rotate off the top here. So this is where I want to rotate off the top here and do that 180 turn, like right around here on this section of the ramp. So as I come up and approach the ramp right here, compress, and I begin to extend. And right here, this is where I begin that rotation. So my arm's sort of coming out here to rotate. This arm, this shoulder, and my head are rotating around this way. And I'm gonna bring this knee up to my chest and push this back leg out around here to help get that rotation and that pop off the ramp. So as I come around, you can see right here that my front leg is coming up to my chest to help me get that pop, and I'm extending and pushing that back leg over around here, and this arm is sort of coming around here to help get that rotation, and that back shoulder is rotating around here. So as I go through that turn, I rotate, and I sort of extend, push this back leg out to help get that rotation and that extension. And I still got like all my weight here on this front foot as I come down for that landing. But as I come down that landing, I'm sort of sliding around right here, and now I'm going to shift my weight onto this back foot to sort of rotate back around this way and right out of that turn. So I've stopped sliding here, and right here you can see that I'm starting to shift my weight onto this back foot here. And notice right here, immediately my chest comes over the front of my knees here, and I'm staying low and compressed. Look how low and compressed I am riding out of this turn. That's going to help me control this turn and ride out of it with speed. So as I come around, I just pivot on those back wheels, pivot out, stand up and extend, and right out of that turn nice and clean. Alright, so right here I'm just setting up for a little backhand attack on this little ramp right here. So I come down and I come up, do a little slide on there just for good measure, and then I come around, and here I'm setting up this turn with the bottom turn. Now it's very important that, like any sort of backhand or forehand turn you do, you want to set it up with a bottom turn. Now you can see here how sort of low and compressed I'm getting. I'm bending my knees, my leading arm is out here guiding me into the direction I want to go, and this hand comes up around shoulder height, and my shoulders just rotating into this direction. And you can see here that I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. I'm constantly looking at the section that I want to hit, because where your head goes, your body's going to follow. So it's very important, whatever maneuver you're doing, just keep on looking into the direction that you're turning and where you want to go, because your body's going to follow your head. So as I come through that bottom turn right here, you can see how sharp I made that bottom turn right there. I started from out here, then I just turn it all the way into here. And I'm eyeing off this section right here to bank it off the top. And as I come up, I begin to extend. And notice right here that as I extend up, my head and my shoulders and my arms are rotating around this way. And then my hips are going to rotate around this way too. And look at the angle of my board up here. It's getting nice and vertical, 12 o'clock. So I want to come and release off the top. I bank it. And as I come around for that turn, notice right here that my chest is coming over the front of my knees right here. I'm staying long compressed through that turn when I ride out, and I'm looking at where I want to go. So I want to go here, then I want to come up and bank it off there and bank it off there. So when I ride out of that turn, ride out of it nice and cleanly, straight back into another bottom turn, looking at the section, and the same thing again, just bank it off the top. And then again for a third time, looking at the section and banking it off the top again, and riding out of that turn with speed and control. And then off into the abyss. So when you're setting up your backhand snaps, you want to set it up with the bottom turn. The bottom turn is the most important part of it, because that's going to get you the angle, and it's going to get you the sort of leverage that you want to snap it off the top. And you always want to keep on looking at the section that you're hitting. You can see right here how long compressed I am. Again, I'm looking at the section right there. I want to hit it right there, and look at the body. Look at the mechanics of my body. I'm super long compressed, driving off that back foot. This front arm guiding me into the direction I want to go, and this shoulder and this arm just turning into this direction to help me, project up into the lip right there. So as I come up here, extending, and I just snap it right there, and then I release my back foot to help get all that spray and that release off the top. And then again, right here, bang, and then for a third time, bang. So, that sort of stuff just comes with practice, carrying that speed from one turn to the other. So that's another thing that you've got to make sure you have is enough speed. So if I play it in real time here, you can see how much speed I carry through those turns. So I come up, bank it, and then boom, snap it, boom, and then boom for a third time. So it's very important that you have enough speed when you're transitioning from maneuver to maneuver, because if you don't have enough speed, you're not going to be able to have enough speed to complete the maneuver or the third maneuver. So, it's all about sort of working out how much speed you need to get you from one maneuver to another, and it's sort of all about managing your speed, because too much speed, you're just going to whip out and come unstuck, which I'll show you next. All right, so this is an example of when you have a bit too much speed, or what could happen. So right here, I'm setting up the turn again, and then coming through, going into that bottom turn, nice and sharp bottom turn, having all that speed. I come up and just whip it around, whack it off the top here. Then right here, I just slide out because I had too much speed, and I come unstuck and I hurt my shoulder. I hurt my elbow, sorry. So I think this is when this was a maneuver that sort of made my elbow swell up, because I cut the skin a bit and it actually got infected. I cut to the clip right here, but you can see that, the whole thing just swelled up and it got fluid in it, and I had to get it drained and everything. So that was a maneuver that happened on. I've never had that happen to me before, but it's the first time for everything. So that kind of sucked. I wasn't able to extend my arm and stuff, so that was kind of shit. But let's break down this turn though. So I'm coming up, and then look at this bottom turn, nice and round bottom turn. I'm looking at where I want to go. I'm looking up here. I want to hit that section right there. So I'm long compressed, looking at that section. I'm just holding my line all the way to this ramp too, until I begin to extend. So you can see I'm just holding, and then I begin to extend. And then look at the rotation on my board here. See, I started off down here pointing this way, and now I'm pointing out this way. And I'm doing that because I want to get that nice big whip off the top. So the further I point out this way, the more I'm able to whip it and release it off the top when I'm coming around turning this way. So as I do that, I get that big whip. You can see right there that I just slide off the top, and I'm just pivoting on those back trucks as I whip it around. See right there, I just whip and sort of pivot I'm just pivoting on this section right here. If you look around here, I just pivot on those back trucks and whip it around, and that's all due to, you know, contorting my body out this way, like tweaking and getting that extension out that way before I rotate around this way. So as I come around, I tweak it, I get that tweak right there, and I come down and immediately my chest was over the front of my knees and I'm compressing out of that turn into the next one, but I had a bit too much speed. All my weight is sort of shifting onto that back leg here. So when I come around for that bottom turn, because I'm turning that bottom turn so sharp with all the speed, I'm just having too much weight on this back foot, and these back wheels are just going to slide out here. So as we come up, see, I begin to bottom turn, but see already right here that I have all this weight on this back foot here, so it's lifting up the front of my truck. So all I have are these back wheels trying to plant me onto this concrete here, and I have no control over the front here. So that's just going to force me to slide out with all that speed that I'm carrying through that bottom turn. So right here, you can see that I just, boom, slide out, and then I'm forced to land on my ass, and I take the brunt of the fall on my elbow. And that's another thing that you guys need to like learn too, or another good thing to start learning is how to fall, and like anticipating when something's not going to go right and sort of making those adjustments, whether you're making an adjustment to complete the maneuver or if you're falling, making the adjustments to fall properly, because this fall could have ended a lot worse than it actually was. It turned out to be pretty bad because it got like infected and shit, but it could have been a lot worse. I could have fallen back and smashed my head on the concrete, but I was able to sort of anticipate that fall. I felt my board sliding out underneath me, and as it come out, you can see right here that I put my arms down to break my fall, to land on my arms. I was unfortunate there because I took all the brunt on that elbow just because of the angle, but then I was able to land on my ass cheeks and keep my head from hitting the concrete. So you can see right there that I'm kind of in a bit of pain. It's like, oh fuck, that kind of hurt, but just brush it off and on to the next one. You know, I've fallen a lot worse than that, but yeah, that's another thing that you need to take into account, is learning how to fall and sort of anticipating what a fall was going to be like. So if I play that in fast motion, it just happens very quickly. So you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be super sharp with it when things like that don't sort of go to plan. So we come up, bang, and that fall just happens so fast. So as I come around here, boom, I'm falling off. So it's all about sort of feeling and being in tune with your equipment and sort of knowing when something isn't going to go right. So you have to make those adjustments on the fly so you don't end up seriously injuring yourself. So yeah, it's a good example right there of sort of making those adjustments and, you know, bracing yourself for impact and falling correctly and not sort of slamming your head. But you know, if you're new and you're very like incompetent, or well, if you're new to surf skating and stuff and you're worried about injuring yourself, definitely wear safety equipment. So wear a helmet, wear elbow pads, and, you know, knee pads and all the safety gear, and you're going to feel a lot more confident if you are going to fall over like this. But you know, I've been doing it for a while, so I sort of know how to brace myself when I am about to fall, and what it feels like when I'm about to stack it. All right, so right here, I'm just setting up. I'm about to drop down into this bowl here. So the first thing I do is just, you know, crack the neck right there, and I put my board down, and I'm making sure my back foot right here is firmly planted onto the back of the board here, and, you know, that's nice and secure. And all I have to do now is just drop in. So I put all my weight onto that front foot and just drop down, and as I drop down, I'm just pushing this front leg down to the ground here. I'm just like sort of stomping it down, but I'm not leaning too far forward, and I'm not putting all my weight onto my back foot here, because if I do that, that's just gonna lift me up and I'm gonna be sliding down on these back wheels and I'm just going to fling out like this. So I want to stomp down. When I'm dropping in, I want to stomp down with my front foot, look at the direction that I want to go, and I'm see here, I'm still centered over my board here. My chest is over the front of my knees here, and I'm not putting all my weight onto my back foot. I'm sort of distributing it between my front and back feet right here. So as I come down that ramp, I have enough momentum, and I'm sort of compressing with my knees, having strong legs, and I just ride out of that drop in, and I'm looking into the direction I want to go. So as we come around here, kind of coming, surfing around the bowl, then I come up and into this turn right here, and bang right there. And you know, that was kind of a nice turn. So what did I do right there? I went up, bang, just sort of slid the tail around, and you can see right there, this section right here, my wheels kind of caught at this section right here. I sort of wanted to get a bit more rotation around with my back wheels, but right there they sort of caught, so I wanted to rotate around here. So when my wheels caught right there, I sort of had to make the adjustment and sort of ride out of it. But it's only sort of a minor adjustment right there. So I come out and ride out, and that's why you kind of see me boggle like right there, because my board's coming around this way, but I still sort of have that momentum to sort of rotate a bit extra around that way. So I sort of have to make the adjustment and come over the top of my board like right here. And then I come up and surf around the bowl again and go up for another turn. And see right there what I'm talking about, that I was able to sort of make that adjustment and get that extra rotation like right there. So you can see right here that I rotate around, right around here, but that first turn I only rotated and I stopped about right here. So I knew that, so I needed to add a bit more speed and a bit more oomph into that turn to get that extra bit of rotation. So when I rotate around, you see right there that I was able to slide it all the way around here. You can see the skid mark on the concrete right there. I slid it all the way around there, so that back leg's extending, and I'm shifting my weight onto that front foot to get that rotation. And as I come right out of it, my board is going to come around this way, and then that's just going to help. I'm just going to slip right in underneath it to come over the top of my board right here. See, as I come around, I'm able to make that adjustment, and my chest comes over the front of my board, and I'm turning this way. So I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. I want to come up and rebound it off that section right there. So as I come through, I immediately look at that section. I come up and bank it off the top there, and then go back around. And then I come up for a third time, same turn, and again I was able to get that extra bit of rotation. I sort of hit it on this side of the ramp right here. Last time I was hitting it right there, you can see the skid marks, but this one I hit it on this section of the ramp. I've come up and got that extra bit of rotation like right there, just pushed it out a little bit more. You can see like right here how far I'm sliding. I stopped sliding around about there. You can see the little skid marks on the concrete right there. My line that I went was right around here. So I started sliding from there, and I slid all the way around there, just pushing it as far as you can go until I straighten out and right out of that turn. Boom, and then straight up into that next one and bank it off the top. So again, there's that sort of anticipation, you know, sometimes you're anticipating to sort of rotate a lot more than you actually rotate, and then all of a sudden, you know, your wheels just grip and you have all this momentum pushing you this way, but then you abruptly stop. So you sort of have to make that adjustment and go, okay, I'm not rotating all that way than I initially expected. So you got to sort of make that adjustment on the fly and be like, all right, transition down into that, you know, sort of follow the flow of your board and sort of the flow of what's happening in the moment. So yeah, sort of about being super in tune with everything, with your equipment and what you're about to do and all that kind of stuff. Right, so right here I'm just trying like the same turn on the different kind of on a different section of the ramp. So that one was kind of clean, come up sort of the same mechanics as the last couple of turns that I've done. Right out of that, I think I wanted to do a bit more of like a 180 kind of turn and just throw around the tail. So when I come up for this next turn, you know, throw a little bit more oomph at it, and I come unstuck here, and I have to roll out of that turn and sort of put my arms down to help me, to brace my fall. So if we break this down, see right here, I come up and I wanted to sort of do a bit more of a 180 turn. I've come up a lot higher up on the ramp, and my wheels like are around here, right below the coping right there, and all my weight is onto this front foot right here, and this ramp's a lot steeper. So, you know, with all that weight up on there, that's sort of almost straight this section, like right here. So my back wheels are going to come off and come out this way, the back of my tail, with all that weight on that front foot. So as I come around here, you can see right there what I'm talking about, that all my weight's on that front foot right here, and this is vertical, like pretty much this ramp, this section right here is pretty much vertical, straight right there. So my back wheels have come off the ramp right here, and they're going to come out this way because I got all that weight on that front foot. So there's nothing to sort of push, there's no force pushing back this way and pushing my wheels onto the ramp right here. So I'm just forced to fall off and come unstuck through that turn. So as I come around, you can see right there that there's nothing pushing me back towards the ramp right here. I just sort of have to do like a Hail Mary and rotate all the way around, so my back wheels will come down and catch on the concrete down here, but that's not going to happen right here. And so I'm forced to just sort of bail on it, and then I can feel myself, I know that I'm not going to make that landing, so sort of have to make that adjustment and bail on my board and try and fall. Like, this is another thing that I was talking about, is learning how to fall in predicaments like this. So I was able to sort of detach from my board and jump off my board, but right here I still have all that momentum rotating me this way. So that's why I'm forced to sort of go into a roll to sort of break myself from hurting myself. So I have to put my hands down and roll out of that turn, and, you know, luckily I didn't injure myself because I knew how to fall. But if I play that back in fast motion right here, you can see how quick it actually happens. That was the first turn, wasn't that great. And then this one right here, see how fast that happens right there? Just boom. Have to make that adjustment and bail, and I'm just like super fatigued right there. But yeah, like I said, you know, you got to sort of make those adjustments and sort of anticipate when a maneuver is not going to go right, so you can brace yourself and stop yourself from injuring yourself super badly. All right, so right here I'm about to just surf the bowl, so I drop in, and notice here as I'm surfing around the bowl, notice my compression and extension. When I come up and approach the bowl, I'm compressing, and as I come up, I extend, I throw my arms up. So you see right here, you see right there that compression and extension. So I extend up here, and then I compress, and then my arms throw up right here, and I compress, and I'm constantly looking at the section that I want to go, and I'm looking at this section, and then compression and extension. See, my arms are up right here, and then a little touch of the rail, and I compress down here, and then look right here, compress and arms come up, extend, and always looking at the section where I'm going. I want to come around this bend right here, do that, take the high line, and compressing and extending, compressing and extending. So that's very important when you're surfing around the bowl. You want to get that compression and extension. That's going to help you sort of maintain that flow and maintain that speed throughout the bowl when you're surfing it. So I'm just cruising around here, just getting all that speed. So if I play this back in fast motion, you can sort of see how fast I'm going around the bowl. All that speed that I'm just carrying around the bowl, and that's through all that compression and that extension. So I'm just using the corners of the ramp to sort of propel me around and carry that speed around here. So I'm just going up and down, using my arms to propel me up, using that compression and that extension. And I come up, do a little turn right there, and then that's that. Well, that wraps up the breakdown of me skating the 34-inch corner O'Leary at Coolum Skate Park. I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown. I hope you guys found that useful in there. So yeah, I encourage you guys to go out and film yourself surf skating and just watch yourself back, because that's the best way to learn, is, you know, sort of watching yourself back on tape. You can watch all the videos and watch all the tutorials and stuff and sort of take it all in, which is great. But you know, you sometimes you feel like you're doing something, and then all it takes is some video review footage to sort of watch yourself back and realize that you're not doing it. So you know, that's happened to me recently. I started doing MMA training, doing like Muay Thai and stuff, probably hence the little black eye from sparring, if you can see that there. But yeah, I was always been like telling that my coach is telling me that my right hand is like dropping from my face, and I'm like, oh, I sort of took note of that and made that adjustment. And then I come home and started hitting the bag here at home, and I film myself. Then I sort of realized that I bring it up, but then after a while I've sort of brought it back down. So I'm like, fuck, I need to make that adjustment and bring it up. So now my hand I'm making sure that I'm so much more conscious of it. I'm always bringing my hand up to protect my right hand up to protect my face here. So it's the same principle that applies to surf skating. You film yourself, and you know, you feel like you might be like rotating your head, or you're rotating your arm or something like that, and then you watch it back and you're not actually doing that. So yeah, it's a very good means to sort of improve your surf skating, and how you can sort of elevate and progress a lot faster by filming yourself. And you know, everyone has access to, you know, phones and stuff these days, so it's so easy, so that you really don't have any excuse not to film yourself. And you know, all you have to do is just get your phone up, and then, I don't know, play one of my videos or another favorite surf skater of yours, and just compare your clips side by side, and you'll be able to sort of coach yourself along with like all the techniques and stuff that are out there on tutorials and everything like that. So yeah, that's how you're gonna sort of elevate your surf skating, become a better surf skater. And that's how I become a better surf skater, is by watching myself back, critiquing myself, and analyzing where I went right and where I went wrong, you know. So yeah, it's a great way to sort of really improve your surf skating. But that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be doing another review at the Cabba Skate Park, so stay tuned for that video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yo!